Welcome back to A Good Pour. I'm Catherine Good, your host. This is Conversations About Good Work. Today we are joined by Keica Ray, who is a family advocate for Sumner County Schools, as well as the coordinator for McKinney-Vento. So welcome to the podcast. Thanks for all you do for our community. I've heard great things about you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Bethany Sullivan, who is executive director of Gallatin Shalom Zone, recommended you. That was another great episode about doing great work in our community. So thanks, Bethany, for the recommendation.
Thank you, Bethany.
I know. Well, tell me about what you do.
Well, I'm the McKinney-Vento Coordinator and family advocate. And what I do is I work with students that are homeless, students that are either living in hotels, doubled up with family members, people that are living in cars. We have students that are staying in campers, just things of that nature.
How do we know that they're homeless? Let's start from the beginning.
Well, what happens is the schools, we have what we call a student residency form. And on that form, you have to say where you're living. And so what they do is they check one of those things. They have these different options of what to check. Okay. So they could either check, I'm living in my car right now. I've been evicted and I don't have anywhere to go. I'm living with family. So it just depends on what the situation is. Okay. And what the school will do is they'll email that to me and then I'll reach out to them and then I'll go out and do a visit.
So I had a pink form last night. I think, is that what I filled out?
There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
I know the exact form you were talking about.
Yes.
I'll do it again tonight for my sophomore.
Exactly. So. And what we do is we don't try to look at just anybody. So everyone has to fill that out. It may be that you're hard on your luck and you had to go stay with your mom. So that would make you McKinney-Vento under the federal law. So what we do is we follow the federal law.
Okay. And how many students in Sumner County?
Last year we had 435. This year I'm already starting off with 50 students, and school doesn't start until tomorrow.
And that you know that right now from
I know that right now.
Okay.
Before I came here, I was making phone calls, arranging for visits, arranging Ubers from hotels. See, with the federal law, if you become homeless in our county, we are required by the law to keep you in our county. So if you're even residing in Davidson County, I have a partnership with Metro Schools. They have to get my students to the county line, and I have to get their students to the county line. Okay. And so then we have to figure out some type of transportation, whether it's a bus, whether it's an Uber. It just depends.
Okay. And so your job is to
make sure that the federal law is followed and that our students are served, whether it's free lunch, whether it's clothes, whether it's backpacks, whether it's trying to help get a referral for housing.
Okay. So like if a child hasn't showed up at school for a while, is that you're checking in on them, or what
happens if a student hasn't shown up for school? We have attendance officers. We have 4 of those in our office. And then if they go out and they say, hey, we can't find them, or we found them at grandmother's house because they were evicted from where we went to, then that's when I take over.
Okay. Food, clothes, that sort of thing.
Clothes, gift cards, any need, anything to make them feel just like everybody else that's in school. I have they say I'm bougie. I'm really not. But coming from a divorced family, I know how it is to be without and other kids saying ugly things. So my McKinney-Vento students, with the help of Souls for Souls, they wear the Nikes, they wear the Reeboks, they wear what everybody else is wearing. I want you to feel like everybody else that you're sitting next to. Okay. You shouldn't have to go through some type of stigma just because you're hard on your luck right now.
Right.
Because it's not your fault.
Yeah. It's just the system, right?
It really is. And if we can do just a little bit to help them feel okay. Any type of extracurricular activities, if they want to play football, basketball, if they want to be in a club, if they want to do swimming, just anything that they want to do after school, we're going to make sure that happens also.
How big of a team do you have?
It's just 2 of us.
Okay.
I have a lady that drives the van and picks up kids for me, and then myself. But my office is great. The office that I'm in is the attendance department, and we have 4 attendance officers, an office manager, and a supervisor. And they will drop whatever and roll right in and do whatever I need done.
I mean, are you dealing with emergencies? Is every day different? Tell me about your day.
Every day is different. Today, when I came in, I had a lady waiting for me at 7:30. I don't come to work until 8 o'clock, but normally I come in a little bit early. And what had happened is her daughter had become incarcerated, and she ended up with 4 students sitting at her house. So what is she going to do? The law says in order for her to enroll a student, she has to have custody. She didn't have custody, but under the federal law, because the mother's incarcerated and they're coming to her house, we can enroll. So those are the things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Or I may get a call from a campground saying, hey, we just had somebody pull in here from Florida or somewhere. They don't have anywhere to go. They can only be on that campground for 2 weeks. So what do? We enroll, and then I help them go from campground to campground until we can find them stable housing.
Do you sleep?
Yes, I do. I do. Just a quick thing last night. So when I couldn't sleep last night, I was looking on Facebook, and someone I had spoke with about their student coming to our school. They were in Metro, were evicted in Hendersonville. And so she had put on there, hey, I'm looking for a place for somebody to pick up my daughter and take her to school. My car broke down. So that was the first thing I did this morning. That's why I came in early, because I needed her to know, you don't have to worry about getting anyone. I can give you an Uber card for someone to ride with your daughter to school and to pick her up in the afternoons. And she was like, oh my goodness, I never knew. And like I explained to her, the federal law says this is what we must do.
Do you have a law degree too?
No.
You know a whole lot about the law.
I have to. They send me yearly to a conference, and at the conference we get whatever they've made an agenda to as far as the federal law. They go back and they make updates each year.
So is this from like county to county, state to state? Is this program the same?
Yes,
or
it is the same everywhere.
Okay.
And what happens is if you are truly a McKinney-Vento coordinator, or you truly are a McKinney-Vento liaison, you know the law, and you're going to hold the next county, the next state, wherever, to the law.
Okay.
And so that's what we do.
How long have you done this?
I've done this for 26 years.
So you definitely know it.
Oh, yeah. I had a great mentor from Metro. Her name is Catherine Knowles. She was in the game before I was. She's probably been there 30 years. But when I came on, she was a mentor. So together, we're just kind of like the dynamic duo.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for her. I hope you're pouring into other people too to teach, because it's so needed. What do you wish people knew about this program, or even the kids?
I wish people knew that the kids, it's nothing that they've done. And it's sometimes it's not even their parents' fault. If you get a landlord that is having issues themselves and they want to raise the rent and you can't afford it, they have the right to evict you if you're behind a little. So if you're behind by 1 month, they can evict you. And the whole family suffers, not just the person that you're out because they can't get more money from you. Everybody suffers. You're going to uproot a student. You're going to uproot a dad who's trying to do his best. Just be sensitive. It could be, we're all one paycheck away.
Yeah.
And with the way things are going now, it's hard.
Oh, I was going to say, is this increasing? I mean, just
most
with
definitely,
like
most definitely.
the rent increasing and just lack of housing.
We have no affordable housing.
Right.
That is the issue. So if we had some affordable housing, we have no shelters. The only shelter we have is Grace's ministry in Hendersonville, and she's wonderful to work with. And then we have Home Safe. If it's not a domestic violence issue, then we can't do Home Safe. In Grace's place, they only have so many slots available. I'm excited about her new places she's going to be opening, and it's going to open up so many doors for our students.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you take care of you?
I read, I travel, and I just recently got a boyfriend.
Oh, good. Well, we need companionship. I'm glad for you. That's awesome.
Yes. My husband passed back in 2014 from ALS, so they laugh at me because I'm like, I got a boyfriend now.
Well, good. Well, I like the way you're smiling because of that boyfriend. So that's excellent. I know when you're dealing with, this is hard. This is kids that need things, and you're getting them to and from and making sure they have those things for 400 plus kids last year.
Right.
So I do like something that makes you smile, because we can't pour out to others if we're not being poured into. So exactly. Anything else you would like people to know about the program, or how can people help?
They can help by inviting me out to speak.
Okay.
Because the more awareness that we have, the better chance I have of serving my kids. We take gift cards. We take any donation of clothes, just anything like that. Any engagement that I can speak and let you know about what my students are going through. then that helps me.
Is gift cards the most helpful, do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are. Because what happens is if we have a parent that can transport their student, but they have no gas, or the money that they have, it has to go to food, or it has to go to the hotel room, then the gift cards, what I do is I get gift cards that say gas only. So they can't use it for anything else. You don't have to worry about them using it for alcohol, tobacco, or anything else. And then I have cards that we can use at Kroger's, so that can help with food. So anything like that is helpful.
And then how does the Uber card work?
What we do is we go to Food Line or Kroger's or somewhere, and we buy the Uber cards. Then what I do is I give them to them, and they have to email me every day the route to school. I'll route it out. I'll know how much they need. It may adjust a little bit, but not very much. So,
and is it specific Uber drivers that know this?
A lot of times we find one.
Okay, good.
And yeah, because I never put an elementary student in an Uber by themselves. The parent has to go to and from with them. Middle school students, the parent has to go to and from them. And then we get a waiver signed from the high school students' parents in order for them to go back and forth to school.
I was going to say, I can put my kid in an Uber.
Oh, yeah. No. No, not at all.
That might be helpful. I wouldn't do that, Caleb and Clara. Well, thank you. Again, I've heard just so much about you and your work. And I learned, how many kids we had in Sumner County that were homeless last year and was just shocked. I don't think people know. And you're right. We have to remind them that it's not, especially the kids' fault. But
exactly.
A lot of the times it's not even the parents' fault. And when we have a systematic problem like lack of affordable housing, it's just going to add
Most
to it.
Definitely.
So thank you for all you do. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you for having me. And I'm great. I just feel great about the awareness.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. We're going to help you. I'm going to get you on some speaker dockets if I can. So
thank you.
Well, nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.